Today we're going to start out in our first video series lesson. We're going to go over pre-swing fundamentals, and we're going to start with grip, stance, posture, and some ball position. First thing I want to start with is the grip, how we hold the golf club when we're swinging. Three types of grip in golf. They are a preference. You can choose. We have an overlap type grip, we have the 10-finger or baseball grip, or we have the interlocking grip, which is probably the most popular. Looking at the left-hand grip position on the golf club right now, trying to get it underneath the cap. If you don't have that cap line, or most grips do, but some don't, you don't want to be out in here. You want to use this as like a little handle or a lever, reinforcing against the butt of your hand. Left-hand grip, as you can see, majority in the last three fingers of my left hand, not in the palm. Do not want to hold on to the golf club like this. So feel that last three fingers of the left. Again, left thumb favors the right side of the shaft. Right hand, make a little cup. Hide that thumb. Right thumb favors left side of the shaft. Good neutral grip position. Again, in the fingers more than the palms. Real important with your grip. If you do these things, your grip will be much better and you'll hit better golf shots. Okay, continuing on with our pre-swing fundamentals. We've covered grip. We're going to now move into our basic stance and posture position. Very important as we continue on. We're going to start from the ground up. We're going to start with our feet, our foot position. We like to say that our stance should be somewhere around shoulder width apart, with our feet and toes in a straight line. Nice square stance. Don't want to get too wide in your feet. Conversely, you don't want to be too narrow. So somewhere you want to find something in between. Shoulder width apart is a good general rule. If your toes are level, square, facing your target, you have a good stance position. Moving up into the knee flex, we want to feel like the weight's on the inside of our feet, getting a little bit of a bounce in our knees, kind of like we have a rubber band around our knees, pulling them slightly in. Want to feel the weight position on the feet on the insides, okay? You don't want your knees kicked out, all right? You want to make sure your knees are kicked in, weights inside, slightly flexed. Moving up into the hip tilt, or what we call forward tilt in the golf swing, we want to get our chest up, our backside out, lower back straight, tilt forward from the hips, letting your arms hang. We call this forward tilt. This also creates a lane for your arms to swing. As you move up, I talk about the chest being up and over the golf ball, backside out, making sure that your head is centered on the golf ball. Golf swing revolves or swings around our head. As long as your head stays over the ball in your posture and your swing, things should be good with your golf swing. Good posture is essential to having a good golf swing. You must make sure you have proper posture. Continuing on with the pre-swing fundamentals, we're going to talk about ball position. The first thing I have in my hand right now is my wedge. Generally speaking, the wedge is the shortest club in your bag. Okay, so with that being said, we're going to play our wedges directly in the center of our stance. So when I sole the club and I put the club down behind the golf ball, I want to have two equal steps to create a nice width of stance and have the ball position placed directly in the middle of my stance. Okay, now that's my shortest club wedge in my bag, and I want to make sure that the golf ball is placed in the middle of my stance. Okay, we do not want to see the golf ball further back than middle. Now, as the club gets longer, the ball position needs to move slightly forward. That is to accommodate the shaft of the club. As the club gets longer, we need to move the ball more forward. Okay, so from a wedge, I switch to 6-iron. So if I play the wedge in the middle, I'm now going to play the 6-iron slightly ahead of middle, and I'm going to move back a little bit to accommodate the shaft length. Okay, so now I've moved the ball a little bit more forward, maybe off my left cheek or just ahead of the center of my stance. Now I'm going to move into a hybrid, which is even a longer club, and with that I'm going to back away even further and move the ball more forward in my stance. Now it's going to be somewhere inside my left heel. Again, moving the ball more forward to allow the club head to square. We'd like to thank you for joining us this week for our first video golf lesson in our video series. We'd like to have you join us next week when we bring you back for aim and alignment, which is our second feature for next week's lesson. In the meantime, this week, practice on what we worked on in the first video lesson, and if you do that, I think your game will start to improve. Until then, we'll see you next week.